Okay, and with Warrington Wolves chairman Stephen Broomhead. Stephen, looking back at the last 12 months at Warrington Wolves, you must be very pleased with the way things have gone. Another Wembley triumph and a grand final appearance at long last.
Yeah, probably our most successful season ever at Wembley and also Old Trafford. But don't forget the under-20s won their trophy, the Valvoline Championship. So that shows, I think, that the investment we made in youth development is also paying off.
And of course, you've secured Tony Smith for another 3 years, which must be great news for the club.
Yeah, probably the world's greatest rugby league coach who's secured for the club. Tony's been a complete game changer in terms of the culture of the club, the training routines he's brought in, the people he's brought with him, the innovation he's shown in terms of the way we've developed the club and developed the game. So we're very, very pleased to have Tony with us for another 3 years.
You mentioned the way the culture of the club there. I mean, Adrian Morley's revealed quite a lot in his autobiography about how the culture of his early years was. Do you think drinking was a big problem at Warrington under the old regime, and that's why good players didn't perform to the best of their ability and we didn't get the success we deserved?
I certainly think there was some issues around the culture of discipline at the club in the past, which is why we've wanted our players to become role models, which is why I've got new training regimes. Tony Smith's been very strong in terms of introducing new techniques. We've got a new fitness regime in place, and the whole culture of the club has changed in terms of its performance. I can't really comment on what Adrian has written in his book. Some of it I do identify with, but what I do know is we have a very good professional club now, all training to the highest standards and working at the highest level, and the players now are role models in the town. You see them out and about, they are role models to our younger people. That's what we want them to be.
Now, you've tasted success at Wembley 3 times in the last 4 years. You've also experienced the grand final. Obviously the grand final would be tinged with disappointment because of the defeat to Leeds, but personally, which do you prefer, the Wembley experience or the grand final experience?
I enjoy any experience where we can win a big trophy, Gary, but I suppose on a personal basis, the family day out at Wembley is the one I think everybody enjoys. It's the one that players clearly enjoy. It's the one the club enjoys, but obviously we've had a taste now of the grand final at Old Trafford, and we've got a taste for it again in 2013. And in all of our plans, our model is about continuous improvement in everything we do at the club, be it on the pitch and off the pitch, is geared towards getting to Wembley again and again to Old Trafford, and winning hopefully other trophies along the way with our youth team.
But do you think more emphasis and more credit should be given to the team that finishes top of Super League? Last season it was Wigan, the season before it was Warrington, and Warrington were runners up this year, but apart from the prestige of where you finished, it's not really recognised as a major achievement.
No, the rules are the rules. I mean, if you're in the top 8, you go into the playoffs. But I do think after 27 games, if you've won the league, perhaps more recognition should be given. But we abide by the rules. You get all the excitement of the playoffs if you get to the grand final. And Leeds obviously have a knack of coming from 5th or even below to win it. And obviously for us, we were disappointed for our fans, particularly at Old Trafford, but we know we are there or thereabouts in terms of we can do it again, and we'll be planning to do so.
But the clubs who take part all have a chance to vote and have a say on the rules and the way the competition's run. Is there no sort of ground movement from the clubs themselves that more credit should be given to winning the league than getting to the grand final?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of discussions going on, for instance, about the size of Super League, particularly given the status of the finance of one or two of our clubs, or whether or not there should be relegation, or whether or not the franchising system works. We are part of those discussions. We haven't declared our position on any of those areas, but we're part of the Super League family. We want to try and support other people when they are not doing so well. Hence why last year we gave some financial support to the Bradford Bulls.
Well, you've mentioned Bradford Bulls and finances. I think Salford are in difficult circumstances at the moment. Could Warrington survive and be successful without the backing financially by Simon Moran?
I mean, Simon's been tremendous, and he's given security, and obviously he's given a lot of support. And it's not just about the money, it's the other ways in which Simon provides leadership and support into the club. But the board of the club is absolutely convinced that it needs to be self-reliant, with or without Simon. We have a very well-run club from a business point of view. Andy Gatcliffe is first class in terms of where he leads the club from a business point of view. The last few years we've always broken even or made a small profit, and that's with or without Simon. Simon hasn't made a big difference, don't get me wrong, we won't want to be without him because he provides that comfort and blanket of security around the club's finances, but we would be able to operate, I think, without Simon on a cost even break even basis.
I mean, Simon is the owner of the club. How hands on with it is he?
He's very hands on actually. He also respects the fact he has a club board, he has a chief executive, he has a chairman, and he wants to make decisions on a collective basis. He realises that that's probably the best way to operate in business. So we all have a good relationship. We always respect the fact that Simon is a majority shareholder of the club, and we respect him for it.
Who would have the final say in the signing of a player, Simon or Tony?
The players' signings will be done jointly between Simon and Tony and Andy Gatcliffe. So those decisions are reached in a proper way, but the board is always involved at some point in any decision about a signing or any big issue that affects the club, such as the extension of the stadium. We take decisions on a collective basis, respecting the fact that Simon is a majority shareholder.
Do you think the expansion of the stadium was the right step to take? Because I don't think it sold out many times last season.
No, well, it didn't sell out, but it was a statement of confidence we have about the growth of the club. Every year we've got bigger and bigger in terms of the supporter base. We've got the World Cup next year to look forward to, and we're hoping, of course, that the fact we made that big investment into the stadium will produce not only good games in the World Cup, but other games in the future. So I think it was a good decision for us to make, and it's a decision about the confidence that this club now has. We've come from Wilderspool 9 years ago, which was not the best stadium in the Rugby League, to a stadium now that everybody's very, very proud of, including the Rugby Football League, who are bringing more and more games to Warrington, which is going to be good for our economy.
Looking ahead to next season, one question supporters always want to know, are there going to be any other signings?
Never say never, Gary, but clearly we do have a salary cap. We've got a situation where we've got a lot of young players now coming through from the younger ranks. You'll see them probably introduced a little bit more than they were last year. You saw a glimpse of some of the players coming through, like Gaz O'Brien and Ben Curry last year. There'll be others coming through later in the year, I guess. But I don't think we're going to actually be splashing out enormously because we're at salary cap, and we're very respectful of that.
Some people would say that key members of your squad are in the twilights of their careers, with Adrian Morley, Brett Hodgson and Lee Breers, all getting into the mid-30s and beyond now. Do you think that could be a problem moving forward?
You wouldn't say that to their face, Gary, but what I would say is that age doesn't really matter actually now. The sports training techniques we have, the fitness regime we now have at the club, age is not such an issue as it was in the past. Steve Menzies, age 40, is about to turn out for the Catalan Dragons this year, and some of our players will probably go like the Duracell rabbit, on and on and on really. But we will see, I think, I repeat, some of the younger players who have deserved their chance coming through this year, and some of our older players, our senior players, it may be their last season, but we'll wait and see them. We've got open contracts on a number of them, and it's a very good spirit in the club at Warrington, and we're a mixture actually not older players. We've got, if you look at our actual average age, I think we've got a really good planned approach to the way we're developing our first team squad.
And of course the youngsters can learn from the older players.
Absolutely, the guidance that Brett Hodgson, for instance, gives to players, Mozza gives to players and so on, younger players, you can't count that, you can't put a value on it. And to have their experience in a club like ours is absolutely fantastic.
Obviously next season you'd want to get to Wembley again because it's a great day out, a great occasion and a great prize to win. You'd like to win the grand final after tasting defeat in it. Is it important to you as a chairman to see Warrington at the top of the league as well?
Absolutely it is. We want to win every trophy in front of us, Gary. That's our ambition, and over the last few years we've shown we can do that actually, 3 times in 4 years at Wembley. We're also realistic about the way we approach every game. You've seen that every year we've got better and better and better. The club has got better in terms of its business organisation. The team on the pitch has got better. And the confidence of the town in the club has got better. So for me as a chairman, it's a raft of issues really, but I think this club is going from strength to strength, and the supporters of the club make it.
Okay, Stephen, long may it continue.
And Gary, Merry Christmas to you, and all the best with Warrington Town Football Club, because you're doing well this season as well, so I wish you all the best for 2013.
Okay, Stephen, thank you as always.
Thank you.